Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gland Bodybuilding. Mountain. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about close grip bench specifically when it comes down to triceps. Now, a lot of people have different ideas about how the close grip bench should be done. Should be doing is probably a wrong conjugation of the verb do. Just thought I'd bring some English into this. So anyway, some people basically have a different way of doing close grip bench than others. But I find that whatever way you feel focuses the most stress on the tricep belly, not necessarily the elbow, but the tricep belly, which is another mistake I see people make, is going to be the right one. Now, the main concept I want to bring into this video is this, is that a lot of times we get told that isolation movements are great for isolating muscles. But sometimes, ironically, right, this is the right way to use ironic, okay? Ironically, sometimes when you're doing an isolation movement, it doesn't isolate the muscle as effective as a compound movement. Huh? Weird, right? And there's a bunch of circumstances that may contribute to this. So for instance, in the dumbbell skull crusher, some of you guys may feel that you're fighting armpit sort of stress, meaning like the internal rotators in the armpits and you're trying to keep the elbows in, and somehow you're getting some sort of subscapularis or lat issue or some sort of rotator cuff issue. And people who have a torn labrum or a dislocating shoulder will have this compounded even more so. They'll have more of an issue. I know I had a friend here the other day and he was doing some skull crushers with really light weight, but as soon as he brought his arms above his head when he's laying down on the bench and he was doing the skull crushers, even though it was really lightweight, he was getting some sort of armpit issue or some sort of rotator cuff tightness or issue. So for that reason, sometimes the close grip bench can be a better way of you getting the triceps if this situation applies to you. Like, so say you're doing the isolations and you're getting all sorts of other muscle groups that are responding, but not the triceps, then I definitely would recommend including some type of pressing movement for triceps into your workout routine. And I knew a guy in the gym back in the day. The guy was I got a lot of words to describe this guy, but in the end though, he was doing something that was working really well for his triceps. He was doing tricep press downs, but instead of doing them super strict, right? Instead of just doing this, everybody gets brainwashed into on YouTube, he was doing them like a press. He'd have the V bar, right? And there was little nubs on the end, so that way he could push his little fingers into that, and he would press down. So basically it was a glorified decline close grip press. That's what it was. And he got great tricep development from that. And I would say that was more his staple for triceps than the skull crusher or even the standard press down. So what I'm trying to say to you is that sometimes you will notice that a compound will work better than an isolation. Now let's get into a set here, close grip. I go fairly narrow in close grip, but one mistake people make is they go so narrow that as soon as they come down a little bit, they start feeling stress in their elbows. And if that's what's happening, widen your grip a bit, okay? Now the other thing you'll notice is that I do not go all the way down because once again, I'm trying to hit the triceps. I'm not trying to include the delts or the shoulders and coming down past the chest. That's not what I want. I want the triceps to hit failure. And I come down to a certain point, and after I get past a certain point, I start to feel it more in the elbows, and the stress actually leaves the muscle belly. So because of that, I will stop around here and then up again and just pump like this and squeeze those triceps. And that way I get way better tricep pumps and stimulation. That's the whole point, right? So here we go. And you don't have to flare the elbows a bunch, but I flare them a little bit, and I still come down in the direction of my sternum. So you have to find what's comfortable, right? a chest workout. I did about 4 or 5 sets of chest with 245. And then now I'm just doing 155 on the bench here. So I'm not using heavy weight, obviously, but I'm just trying to pump those triceps. So those of you who have my Body Bliss training program will get an idea of kind of what I'm doing these days for my workouts, just because I like to mix things up. So some days I'll just do easy going through the motions movements. And then when I feel motivated, then I'll do a heavy day or a little bit heavier, right? And do some heavier weight. But I feel way better just using lighter weight sometimes and then going into heavier weights and stuff. So yeah, I'm just mixing it up. It's just playing around, right? So in the end, you know, you want to feel good and that has to be a major dictating factor of your workouts. And if you do that, I think you're going to be way better off in the long run. Okay, mountain. So you notice a lot of the movement takes place around the elbows, right? It's bending and straightening the arm is what the tricep does. So if your press is turning, or if your close grip press is turning more into a press than an elbow extension, you're probably including a lot more delts than you need to, or chest, right? But you know, there's nothing wrong with doing that variation if you want. But if you're having trouble isolating the triceps, you might want to adjust your technique a bit, right? See? Yeah, they speak to me sometimes, you know. They tell me what to do. I don't even know what I'm doing, just the muscles tell me. And the Sasquatches in shipping that send out the exercise sticks, those guys, they tell me some stuff too. I would call it more like sign language though, rather than speaking. Yeah. Anyway, I hope this helps out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com and take care for now. And yeah, if you haven't tuned into the podcast yet, go to Patreon. The link is in the description and I have the Patreon podcast there for you to listen to. Mountain.